Okay, here we are 2 days before the auction, and what I want to show you tonight, because you're probably feeling like I am right now, is how to get all of the people that have purchased tickets off the OneDrive account, and we're going to load them into the auction software. So the first thing I'm going to do is log into the OneDrive account. One of the things I did at the start was I got sort of administrator access to this account from the MCOW people. So this is, whoops. This is where all of our ambassador families have been logging their tickets. We used the spreadsheet, the same one that they used in the previous year. And as they sold tickets, families would go in and they would put in the names of the people that bought the tickets and the amount of money, the number of tickets. So we've got people's last names, first names, address, city, state, zip code, phone number, email, amount. One of the things we added this year that we haven't had in the past is whether people were gluten-free, so their food preferences. And we also have an option over here, special needs, so folks who want to sit together on the same table. So I'm here in the OneDrive. You can see all of the sales. What I'm going to do is go up to File and Save As, and one of the options here is download a copy. So I'm downloading a copy. There's a little thing that pops up at the bottom here kind of asking me what kind of save do I want to do. So I'm clicking on it and I'm doing Save As again. And what I'm going to do is navigate. I've got a little USB stick in the corner of my computer. So it's a 32 gig USB, and the file name I'm choosing is Master Ticket Log, which is the same name that we use for our OneDrive file. And I'm just clicking, I'm saving it as a Microsoft Excel worksheet, and I'm clicking Save. Okay, fingers crossed that actually saved. Now what I'm going to do is start up the auction software, because I want to take that download and I want to stick it into the actual software. So here we go. I'm just opening up auction, and I'm going to navigate to the name of the database that we've been using. It's called MCOW Auction. It's over here under the File menu, and it's doing its thing. Interestingly enough, we just got we just got the database with all of the items loaded in it from the procurement committee tonight. So this is all kind of happens at the last minute. Try not to panic. We sort of got together last weekend to make sure things were good. But you can see over here in the auction software, you can see all the items on the right-hand side. There's quite a bunch of them. And then on the left-hand side, you'll notice there's not much at all. This is where the invitees go. There's one item or one person that we added called MCOW Auction, which is kind of a weird name for an invitee. But what we're going to use this person for, so to speak, they're like a ghost person. We're going to use them for all of the cash donations, anything that we can't trace back to an individual on the night. So we kind of created that first. Now to import all of the rest of the attendees, the very first thing you need to do is go up to Settings, and there's an option here that says Switch to Exclusive Access. Whenever you want to do anything like importing or exporting, you need to switch to exclusive access. It means other people can't use it. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay, we're in, and now I'm going to start the import process. So I go File, and then Maintenance, and you'll see a second little window pops up. Actually, no, I got that wrong. What I should have gone to is File, Import. So File, Import. And down the bottom here, I've got a few choices. The one I want is comma separated is the default. I want to choose Excel. And then I'm going to navigate over here and find my file on my USB drive. And there it is. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's called Master Ticket Log. That was what I downloaded from the OneDrive. So I'm choosing that, and I'm going to click Open. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just simply follow through the prompts here for the open. Step one, I can see all the data here, and I can see that it's got Excel spreadsheet. That's good. Now I'm going to click next. And it's asking me which worksheet do I want to use and whether the first row of my worksheet contains a header. Well, yes, the first row of my worksheet does contain a header. That was like the last name, first name and all that stuff. And the worksheet I'm using is data. I can't remember, but I think I've only got one worksheet and it's called data. So now I'm just going to click next. And what I have to do here, this is kind of important, is I have to line up all of the fields from the spreadsheet, which is in this bottom section, with the fields that are going to be in the database. So the first one over here on the left-hand side, don't know if you can see it, but it's customer, and it's customer last name. So I go up here and I grab last name, click and drag it down, and you can see it's lined up. Next I'm going to grab first name, line it up. Now I'm going to go with the address, line it up, and you've probably got the idea about what's going on. City, state, zip, and phone number could be anything. I'm just going to go with cell phone. Probably could have gone with home phone. Email. Email's really important. You want to make sure everybody's got an email if you can. Now notice there's a few other fields on the bottom here. There's like amount and ticket numbers and ambassador and whether they're gluten-free and all the rest of it. Unfortunately, you can't import that data. That has to get entered in manually later on, so that's kind of life. There is one more field that I can import, and that is the notes field. So I'm going to put the notes field against the special needs column of the spreadsheet. You can see it just there. And I'm going to mark all of the names as invitees, and then I'm going to click next. All right, we're just about in the home stretch, so it's asking me what to do about duplicate records. Well, it shouldn't be a concern because I only have one record in my database at the moment, so I'm just leaving the default, which is join one, and I'm going to click import now. And voila, we can see things have come back looking pretty good. Over here on the left-hand side, we can see all of the names have been successfully imported. Now, notice up on the side here, and this kind of leads into what's going to happen next, we have names. What we don't have is bid numbers, and we're going to need to give each of these names a bid number. The only one that's in there at the moment is the one I had at the start, which is the auction MCOW one, MCOW. Okay, to assign bid numbers, there's a process. The tool actually allows you to do it fairly quickly. But one of the things I want to point out first is that it can be quite confusing because on the right-hand side of the screen we have these 3-digit item numbers, and in our case we started at item number 100, and it goes all the way through down to, they go down to 1,497. So I want to choose a range of numbers for the invitees that is different than the range of numbers used for the items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the range at around about 600. So I've already used 600 on that very first one, that MCOW auction one. So for the rest of them, I'm going to go up and trying to remember where this is. I think it's, let's try activities. Yeah, activities, assign bid numbers, and it comes up with this little message and you can read it all. What I want to do is start here with the bid number at, let's go with 601. And I want to assign the bid numbers. So it says, do I want to assign bid numbers to all the people that don't have bid numbers? Absolutely. So yes, there's no absolutely button. And notice on the left-hand side, we can see all of the bid numbers there now. A couple of different views here for bid numbers. This first one here is just all the names. This second little button here shows the names and the bid numbers, which is going to come in handy later on. So that's about it for entering the names in. The next process that we'll be looking at is how do we now record the fact that each of these people has purchased tickets and they've actually paid for the tickets.